All right, still with me, appellate and trial attorney Matthew Barhoma. First and foremost, you heard the claims there by Alec Baldwin. How right is he?
He's right and he's wrong. He's right in the sense that there is a legal process here for this. And if we're talking about multi-state, this deals with federal findings and things of the sort. So I understand that on that predicament. What I don't understand is why he's making any statements of any sort. This could only ever really hurt him legally. It can't possibly help him. It can only ever be used against him. It can never be used to aid him. And so ultimately, any statement that he makes, he's just saving public face. He's saving face here on a lot of these items. And I'm sure his lawyers are urging him not to. Now, is he right that there's a process for this? There is. If in a case this notorious, it could be actually pretty complex.
Now, I agree with you, Matthew, and methinks he doth protest too much. I mean, the idea that he feels the need to continue to express himself, defend himself, go on the offensive, however you want to look at it, to me can't be a positive. As you said, he's only hurting himself. We've already heard the DA in the case say that everything's on the table, everyone's still a suspect. Explain to me what could have happened under these circumstances where he could be in trouble. Because we know, we both know he didn't intend to shoot anyone. I think that's clear. But we just saw a case involving Kim Potter where she didn't intend to shoot anyone and she was found guilty of a crime. So there probably are facts here where he could definitely hurt himself by talking too much.
You hit it right on the money, Michael. I was just about to bring up the Kim Potter example. And really, in cases like Alec Baldwin's, what we're really looking at, what we're really assessing is his level of culpability, okay? We understand it's not intentional, right? But ultimately, was it so reckless that it was negligent? And that's why things that are in his phone, remnants that are in his phone, maybe conversations he had right after a fact, right? With anything that could trace back to how the bullets ultimately got here, is the only bar, it's the only way that we're gonna be able to assess whether or not this was criminally negligent or not, worthy of some kind of criminal sentence. And so, any kind of statement that he's making could only ever be used against them. But the way that the hearsay rules and evidence rules work is it would be hearsay and he wouldn't be able to introduce it, to be able to aid himself. And so all of these remarks, the sit down, this video now, these items could only ever be used against them. And if I was him, I would not be speaking out loud about these things. That's why you hire an attorney and an attorney team to be able to handle that. And your attorney team could put out a statement if they really needed to, rectify something. So, this could really, he's walking a fine line that could only possibly injure him.
Yeah, the right to remain silent, Matthew, as you well know, is fundamental to our justice system. I know his attorneys are good attorneys. They're definitely telling him that. And if it's about support, he's getting support. I want to listen to a little bit here where he talks about some of the support that he's getting from the public.
I've had more people who have been kind and thoughtful and generous of spirit than I've had people who are malignant about the death of Helena Hutchins. I'm not afraid to say that, and to couch that in some euphemism. Somebody died very tragically.
Matthew, if it was all about, his image, and that's understandable, you would still think that there was a better way to do it, a more controlled way to do it. Because I remember back when he was talking about the fact that he never pulled the trigger on the gun. I don't know if you remember that statement that he made. See, statements like that to me are ones that truly can come back and hurt you.
Yeah, because they're disingenuous at best. The only way that gun, now we found out, the only way that gun could go off is through that. And if he's saying that he pulled a hammer, well, it's the functional equivalent. So, the way that you save face in this case is not through this. It's through going through the proper legal channels. But I also got to play the other side of this coin for you now, which is I'm sure that Baldwin is sitting back and is just traumatized by the amount of information out there. And I'm sure that he's dying to speak out. And that's why you see these little blurbs, these little snippets of him coming about. But like I said, these items could only ever hurt him, especially at such a sensitive time in the investigation, right? Everything is on the table. And now that that's at play, let's play this right. And I think doing this right is really preserving that right to remain silent until, the moment that you choose not to in open court.
Yeah, and the investigation continues, and I'm sure at some point we'll hear from him again. All right.